Have you ever noticed that being constantly available doesn't make you more valuable, but in fact, diminishes your worth? You answered every call instantly. You responded to every message within seconds. You said yes to every request and attended every invitation. And what happened in the end? You burned out, your boundaries were crossed, and worst of all, your priorities were crushed under other people's emergencies. In trying to please others, you lost your most valuable assets, your time and energy. Being always available didn't make you indispensable. It only made you easily expendable. The problem isn't your good intentions. The problem is that you don't know how to protect your energy. That's why true respect is earned not by always saying yes, but by knowing when to say no. This video was created to teach you that being unavailable is a stance of self-respect. It's time to stop serving other people's agendas and become the master of your own time, directing your energy toward what truly matters. You didn't come into this world to fulfill others' requests. You came to realize your own potential. Now, to draw a new boundary in your mind, write this sentence in the comments. From now on, my time belongs to me. This sentence will be the first step toward reclaiming control of your life, because what you repeat eventually becomes what you live. As Epictetus said, no one who is not the master of themselves is free. If you're ready, let's start the transformation. Reclaim your worth. Do you think you earn people's respect by constantly saying yes, rushing to every call, and treating everyone's problems as your own? I have bad news for you. By doing this, you don't gain respect, you only feed people's habits. Because people don't respect you, they've just grown accustomed to seeing you as a free, limitless resource. You need to understand the difference, because all that inner restlessness lies in this subtle but profound distinction. You're like a reliable object, always there, always available, expecting nothing in return. But people don't respect objects. They just use them. They respect what is rare, valuable, and comes at a cost. By being constantly available, you're devaluing yourself with your own hands. Imagine yourself as a teapot, always expected to be full. The people around you are empty cups, each with a different demand. One wants comfort, another advice, another just your time. You believe your sole purpose as a good teapot is to fill these cups. You pour endlessly until the last drop is gone. In panic, you boil more water, add more tea. But the cups are impatient, staring at you as if to say, "Hurry up." Under the pressure to fill that void, you pour out tasteless, half-brewed water before the tea has had time to steep. This is the root of your exhaustion. What you offer is no longer genuine care, but a weary obligation. Your presence no longer radiates warmth, but tense urgency. Yet, a good teapot's true purpose isn't just to pour tea, it's to serve well-brewed tea. And that requires respecting the sacred waiting time for the water to boil, the tea to steep, and the flavor to settle. Stopping being always available is about claiming your own steeping time, because unsteeped tea benefits neither you nor others. Stoic wisdom says this: the value of something is inversely proportional to its abundance. Your constant attention, time, energy, and solutions become so abundant that they lose all value to those around you. The time you sacrifice with great effort is just a casual privilege to someone else. The hours you spend listening to someone's problems are just a fleeting moment of relief for them. In this exchange, you're the one who burns out, while they forget you until their next need arises. Is it their fault? No, it's yours. Because you taught them that your time and presence are cheap. You teach people how to treat you through the boundaries you set, or fail to set. So how do you break this cycle? It doesn't mean becoming cold or arrogant. It means taking deliberate, strategic steps to restore the value of your time and energy. The first step is breaking the reflex to respond instantly. You don't have to answer every message or request immediately. Let them wait. That waiting period sends a subtle but powerful psychological signal that you have a life and priorities of your own. The second step is treating your schedule like a sacred text. Other people's emergencies shouldn't blow up your plans. When someone asks something of you, your answer shouldn't be, "Of course," but "I'll need to check my schedule." This simple sentence shows that control lies with you and that your time isn't up for negotiation. This doesn't make you selfish. It makes you the manager of your own life, and people instinctively respect those who manage their own lives. When you start setting this distance, something magical happens. The freeloaders and energy vampires in your life will slowly drift away because you're no longer easy prey. This might scare you at first. You might fear being alone. But the void left by those who leave will be filled by higher quality people who value your time and respect your boundaries. At this stage, manipulators, or those who see you as a resource, may start testing you. They'll try to guilt trip you. You've changed, you don't care anymore, I needed you but you weren't there. This is emotional pressure to pull you back into your old limitless giving mode. A Stoic stance is critical here. You realize these reactions aren't about you. They're about their fear of losing control over you. This doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you're no longer moving according to their expectations. Surprisingly, when you become less available, your connections with the people you do reach become deeper and more meaningful. Those who truly value you will adapt to your new boundaries. They might find it strange at first, but they'll come to understand and respect you. Those who only used you for their needs will get angry, distance themselves, and accuse you of selfishness, because the version of you that served their convenience no longer exists. Thus, the moment you stop being always available is the moment you measure the quality of your relationships, distinguishing true friendships from superficial, utilitarian ones. This may be painful, but it's the healthiest cleansing you can do in your life. 2. Stop being available to escape manipulation. Being always available is marketed as a modern virtue. You're seen as reliable, helpful, and responsive. At first, this attention makes you feel valued, as if you're indispensable. But this constant yes state quietly traps you in an invisible cage, the cage of predictability. When you always react the same way, always being available, you hand others a manual for how to manipulate you. And unfortunately, not everyone reads that manual with good intentions. Predictability is a manipulator's playground. They learn which words make you angry, which requests trigger guilt, and which silences push you into panic. Your emotional reactions stop being your free choices and become programmed responses they control. By being always available, you give them countless opportunities to pull you in any direction they want. They keep you busy, drain your energy, and quietly take control of your life. Without realizing it, you stop acting from your own will and start moving according to their expectations, becoming a puppet. Stoic philosophy offers a shield to take back those strings. Epictetus's core teaching is this: it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Manipulators don't use events. They use your automatic, uncontrolled reactions to those events. Their power feeds on your unthinking responses. When you stop being always available, you create a conscious gap between the event and your reaction. That gap is your freedom. You stop being a piece in their game and become an observer watching from afar. How do you end this game? The first step is to shed the obligation to respond instantly. You don't have to reply to every message, call, or request right away. That brief pause, seconds, minutes, or even hours, gives you the power to think and choose your response deliberately. Vary your reactions. Stay silent to a word that usually angers you. Say "I can't" to a situation you'd normally help with. This unpredictability renders their manipulation manual useless. When you disrupt their scripted game, the power dynamic shifts instantly. They can no longer control you because they can't predict your next move. This quiet resistance frees you. You're no longer their emotional emergency button. Your energy stays with you. Your mental peace returns. And most importantly, you regain your self-respect. The manipulator's power lies in your predictable reactions. When you withdraw those reactions, all that's left is an empty stage and an actor who's lost their role. That's the moment control of your life returns to your hands. 3. Protect your vital energy. Have you ever noticed that you treat your mental and emotional energy like a bottomless well? Throughout the day, you draw from it generously for every pointless argument, every unnecessary explanation, every meaningless conversation. You listen to everyone's problems, defend yourself in every conflict, and respond to every expectation instantly. At first glance, this seems like generosity, but it's actually the reckless waste of your most valuable resource, your life energy. The real danger isn't the big crises, but the small, unnoticed leaks throughout the day. These leaks, each one seemingly insignificant, add up. An angry reply to a comment on social media, the effort to prove yourself to someone who won't understand, the urge to take on someone else's responsibility. These small drips combine, and by the end of the day, you're left with a dry mind and a weary soul. These invisible holes in your energy reservoir slowly drain you, and the worst part is that an exhausted mind is a defenseless mind. Your ability to think weakens, you make impulsive decisions, and you become an easy target for manipulators. A tired person doesn't resist, they just react. Stoic wisdom reminds us that our most precious assets are our time and energy. Marcus Aurelius saw protecting these resources as a primary duty. He advised safeguarding your inner fortress, your mental peace, from the chaos of the outside world. Being always available is like leaving the gates of that fortress wide open. You can't control who enters or which thoughts invade you. A Stoic stance is to be the gatekeeper of that fortress, questioning every request, invitation, or word before letting it in. Does this serve my peace, or does it steal it? Protecting this requires brutal honesty about where you spend your energy. Before entering a discussion, starting an explanation, or rushing to help someone, ask yourself, will this action increase my energy or drain it? If the answer is drain, you have the right to step back. You don't have to fight every battle. Pleasing everyone isn't your job. Walking away quietly, closing a topic, or simply saying no isn't weakness. It's a deliberate energy management strategy. This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. When you achieve this, an incredible transformation begins in your life. The energy you used to waste on unnecessary dramas and conflicts returns to you. With this reclaimed energy, you can focus on your goals, nurture your creativity, and, most importantly, build your inner peace. Your energy is your most valuable capital. When you manage it wisely, you don't just survive, you consciously build your life. When the noise fades, only what truly matters remains. 4. The strategic power of silence. In a modern world dominated by noise and a constant flow of information, the greatest power and rarest authority come from silence. In an environment where everyone competes for attention and every gap is filled with meaningless words, choosing to remain silent deliberately sets you apart, instantly. The urge to always speak, respond immediately, or join every discussion is a sign of lack of control and a need for external validation. When you stop being always available, you gain one of the most powerful and least understood strategic weapons: silence. Silence isn't a void or absence. It's a consciously managed strategic space. The human mind naturally dislikes uncertainty and emptiness, rushing to fill it with assumptions, guesses, or worries. When you stay silent, you create a mental space for the other person, forcing them to fill it with their own inner world. Imagine a negotiation. The other side makes an offer and expects an immediate reaction. Instead of responding, you pause for a few seconds. In that brief pause, the power dynamic shifts. They start questioning whether their offer was good enough, weakening their own position in their mind. Your silence forces them to negotiate with themselves. The same principle applies in personal relationships. Imagine facing an unfair accusation or an angry outburst. The expected response is to defend yourself in a panic or counterattack. Instead, if you respond with calm, measured silence, their anger has no wall to crash against. Their aggressive energy echoes in the void and turns back on them. Your composure becomes a mirror that highlights their lack of control. But wielding this external power effectively requires inner mastery first, being comfortable and fearless in your own silence. Most people fear the endless noise of their own mind when distractions disappear. For a Stoic, however, this silence is where clarity and truth are born. For Stoics, silence is a discipline before it's a social tactic. Controlling your words is the first and most crucial step to controlling your impulses and emotional reactions. This silent stance also creates a natural sense of curiosity and depth about you. A person who shares every thought instantly is an easily read, predictable book. But someone who speaks selectively and knows when to stay silent requires effort to understand. People value what they have to work for mentally or emotionally. Your controlled silence adds weight and a sense of mystery to your presence. To develop this power in your life, practice regular silence training. Spend just 5 minutes a day without any external stimuli. No phone, no music, no screens. Don't fight the thoughts that arise in your mind. Observe them like a river's flow. At first, this may feel unsettling as it brings all your inner restlessness to the surface. But with persistence, you'll learn to master your thoughts and manage the inner noise. Ultimately, silence isn't passive withdrawal. It's one of the most active and controlled actions. When you stop being always available, you'll notice that while your words decrease in number, their weight increases. Your presence becomes more felt. Because it's not the loudest or most talkative person who controls a situation, but the one who wields silence as a strategic weapon at the right moment. 5. Stop abandoning yourself. Think of those moments when that calm, clear voice inside you says, "Stop," but you take one more step to please others. Those moments when you go against your inner compass to seem agreeable, avoid conflict, or not upset someone. Being always available turns these small inner betrayals into a habit. This isn't sacrifice. It's the quiet abandonment of your soul. This behavior may seem like a price paid for outer peace, but it's a false harmony, and you're always the one who pays the cost. By constantly postponing your needs, exhaustion, and boundaries, you program your subconscious with a destructive idea. My desires, my peace, my energy comes second. Every forced smile, every reluctant task chips away at your being, pulling you further from your center. The most dangerous outcome of this self-abandonment is becoming deaf to your own voice. Others' expectations and demands become so loud that you can no longer hear the whisper of your authentic desires, dreams, or inner wisdom. You forget who you are and slip into the role others deem suitable for you. As you play this role, an unexplained restlessness and resentment build inside you. No external approval can fill the void created by this betrayal of self. Stoic philosophy teaches that the highest loyalty is to your own soul and reason. Seneca emphasizes the importance of living in harmony with your own nature. Constantly yielding to external pressures shatters this inner harmony. For a Stoic, the goal isn't to gain external approval, but to be at peace with your own conscience and values. Protecting your space against situations that drain you, contradict your essence, or diminish you isn't selfishness. It's an act of existential integrity. It's defending your inner fortress. To break this cycle, the first step is to stop acting on autopilot. When faced with a request, pause your reflex to respond instantly. Give yourself a moment of silence and reflection. In that pause, consult your inner compass. Does this action bring me closer to my center or pull me further away? Is this truly my chosen path? This inner dialogue pulls you out of others' agendas and back to your own truth. Start being selective about where you direct your energy and presence. Your time isn't a public resource for everyone to use freely. It's your most precious treasure, and only you decide where to invest it. This isn't about cutting people off, but about raising the quality of your interactions. When you direct your energy consciously, your connections become deeper and more meaningful because they stem from genuine choice, not obligation. When you start returning to yourself, an incredible clarity emerges in your life. Relationships and situations that drain you slowly dissolve, while those that nourish and uplift you grow stronger. You stop being an echo of others' expectations and become the master of your own existence. When you look in the mirror, you no longer see a weary stranger trying to please everyone, but a whole person who chooses to stay true to themselves, even in the toughest moments. This is where true freedom and lasting peace begin. 6. The transformative space of solitude. Most people see solitude as a deficiency. A quiet house, an empty table, an evening without calls, these are often associated with abandonment or worthlessness. But from a Stoic perspective, solitude isn't a lack, it's a raw field of power. When you stop being always available, you realize solitude isn't a punishing void but a laboratory for rebuilding yourself. To grasp the transformative power of solitude, you need to see it through new eyes. Picture a sculptor's workshop. It's not crowded, just the stone, the tools, and the artist's breath. In that silence, in that solitude, the stone becomes a statue. You undergo the same process within yourself. When you withdraw from the crowds, from constant messages, invitations, and others' demands, the shapeless pieces of your inner world slowly take form. Think of solitude as a furnace. Dough left outside stays raw, no matter how many ingredients you add. It can't become bread. But in the intense enclosed heat of the furnace, unseen by anyone, it takes shape, rises, and transforms into something nourishing. You experience the same in solitude. In the crowd, you remain half-formed. But in the enclosed chamber of solitude, your raw energy matures and transforms into lasting strength. When you're always available, you can't be alone because you're constantly open to external stimuli. A call, an invitation, a message. Your mind is always consumed externally. But when you stop being available, solitude becomes not a weakness, but a sanctuary. Here, without others' voices, you begin to hear your own. Your values, goals, and thoughts become clear again. For Stoic philosophers, solitude isn't retreat. It's a return to yourself. Marcus Aurelius often turned inward, even amidst crowds, as he wrote in his meditations. But this skill doesn't develop without breaking free from the constant interruptions of the outside world. When you become unavailable for a while, solitude cleanses you. Like the sky clearing after a storm, you see clarity within yourself. Scientific research supports this. When alone, the brain activates the default mode network, a region where creative connections are made, long-term goals are contemplated, and insights about identity are developed. Solitude is where mental clutter is organized and integration happens. When you close yourself off to others' calls, your brain reorganizes itself. How can you use this practically? Spend at least a short time each day completely alone, without distractions. No phone, no social media, no TV. Take a notebook and write down whatever comes to mind. Your mental clutter will spill out in this space. At first, surface thoughts come, tasks, reminders. Then you go deeper, fears, desires, goals. This is where solitude becomes transformative, giving you the power to reorganize your life. Another benefit of solitude is resilience. Someone who isn't dependent on others' constant presence learns to be whole within themselves. This transforms relationships too. The fear of, "I'll be incomplete without someone" disappears. Whole in solitude, you're free in company. So when you stop being available, see solitude not as punishment, but as a training ground. Solitude is the space to reconnect with yourself. Moments when no one calls, invites, or acknowledges you aren't losses, they're your greatest gains. In solitude, you discover your strength, your voice, and your direction. This discovery grounds you in an unshakable inner foundation, untouchable by anyone. 7. This is how real respect is earned. Picture people who change the atmosphere of a room just by entering. They don't raise their voices to prove themselves, don't seek attention with unnecessary effort, or justify their decisions with long excuses. Their language is not loud words, but a dense calm, a focused gaze locked on their goal, a simple sentence stripped of excess words, and a consistent stance unshaken by circumstances. This is where true, lasting respect takes root, in a climate of clarity, not in chaos or noise. When you're always available, you take on an invisible burden, the debt of explanation. You feel compelled to justify every decision, explain every delay in detail, and respond to every request with a cause and effect rationale. This may make you seem agreeable and understanding in the short term, but in the long term, it erodes your identity. You become coded as someone who needs to be convinced, always expected to defend themselves. Respect, however, grows in the opposite space, where clear, non-negotiable principles are declared. Moving from an emotional basis like "I'm doing this because I feel this way" to a structural one. Like, This is my operating principle changes the entire dynamic of a relationship. A principle isn't an open-ended feeling. It's a clearly drawn line. The foundation of this journey lies in acting like a Stoic, accepting that the force guiding you isn't external winds, but your inner compass. But that compass's direction only matters if it remains a secret known only to you. Unless the people around you see your inner rules concretely, they'll continue to see you as flexible, easily bent by circumstances. Respect isn't earned by rushing to meet everyone's needs, but through consistent standards, you declare to the world about who and what you give your time and energy to. These standards are built through an access protocol, not a wall of arrogance, but a conscious structure that organizes your presence, time, and energy. Let's break down the roadmap to shift you from a defensive mode to one where you act on your decisions with quiet confidence. Write down 3 to 5 personal standards, your personal constitution. For example, I don't make important decisions hastily. I take time to evaluate and then respond. Or, I plan my time and energy in advance, so I can only accept spontaneous requests in exceptional cases. These aren't invitations for debate. They're your operational framework. When people see a clear framework, they adjust their behavior to it. Without one, they try to adjust you. For significant requests or favors, give yourself an automatic 24-hour reflection period. When a request comes, instead of responding reflexively, say calmly, "I'll evaluate this and get back to you tomorrow at this time." This single, time-bound sentence pulls you out of the urgency and emotional momentum of the request. This small delay adds weight and seriousness to your decision. In a world that glorifies speed, respect is often a byproduct of depth and deliberation. Random, limitless access makes you seem random and ordinary. Instead, create specific time windows for communication. For example, I respond to messages and emails every weekday between 4 and 5 p.m. This shifts your role from personal to institutional. People may resist personal whims, but they tend to respect institutional structures. Respect becomes a predictable, solid habit rather than a fragile status. Long, detailed explanations almost always signal defense or a need for approval. A short, clear, polite sentence carries the weight of a principle. Instead of listing reasons, guide with direction. For example, "My current priority is this project, so I can't take on the other matter." This is a statement of priority, not an excuse. Guiding invites respect. Over-explaining invites negotiation. Start meetings, important conversations, or even correspondence with a silent first-minute ritual. Listen, observe, take notes, and weigh your thoughts before speaking. This stance sends a powerful message about you. This person isn't reactive, they're analytical. They process data before delivering a judgment. People think twice before challenging someone who speaks with deliberation. They don't build respect for those who speak hastily. At the end of the day, you must realize this. Respect loses its meaning when confused with being liked. Being liked may come from limitless access and warmth, but true respect arises from the graceful, clear aesthetic of boundaries. A boundary isn't a wall, it's just a line. Walls invite pushing and breaking. Lines call behavior into alignment. When you draw that line, those who take you lightly stay outside it. Those who value you understand that approaching that line comes at a cost. Respect for your time, preparation, and responsibility. Anything with a cost gains weight, and where there's weight, respect inevitably follows. People will stop expecting instant reactions or speed from you and start anticipating a matured judgment. A judgment ripens not in the blurred shadow of an explanation storm, but in the clear sunlight of principles. The moment you stop defending yourself, others stop questioning you. Because defense always breeds more demands, while principles breed only respect. 8. Return others' responsibilities to them. Think of a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. That struggle is essential for strengthening its wings. During that effort, fluid is pumped from its body to its wings, giving them the strength and structure needed to fly. If someone with good intentions cuts the cocoon to help, the butterfly emerges easily. But because that vital process is interrupted, its wings remain weak, and it can't fly. It spends the rest of its life crawling. The well-meaning help has crippled it. By being always available and solving others' problems for them, you're doing exactly this. You steal their struggles, preventing them from growing stronger. This savior role may make you feel indispensable and powerful at first. Everyone needing you feeds the illusion of purpose, but this constant intervention isn't compassion. It's a subtle arrogance. It's a lack of respect for their right to find their own path, make their own mistakes, and discover their own strength. You take away the struggle that would strengthen their wings. The most destructive, invisible harm of this behavior is that you weaken the people you love. By offering instant support every time they stumble, you prevent them from building the muscles to stand on their own. When you solve their problems, you teach them not to trust their own intelligence and abilities. By carrying their emotional burdens, you rob them of the chance to build their own resilience. Over time, you create individuals dependent on you, trapped in learned helplessness. You think you're helping, but you become the greatest obstacle to their personal growth. The harm to you is even deeper. You become an emotional landfill for others' unresolved problems, unvoiced fears, and unhandled crises. Your mental space is occupied by secondhand crises and others' dramas. You have neither the energy nor the space for your own goals, peace, or challenges. As you shoulder others' burdens, you're crushed under the weight of your own life. This is quietly poisoning your soul with others' problems. A core pillar of Stoic philosophy is the wisdom to distinguish what is within our control and what isn't. Another person's emotions, choices, and life lessons are firmly outside our control. Trying to interfere with their journey is like rowing against the current of nature. It only exhausts you and gets you nowhere. The greatest gift you can give someone is respecting their freedom to make their own choices and face the consequences. True help isn't solving their problems, but helping them believe the strength to solve them lies within them. Stepping back is sometimes the greatest act of compassion. To break this unhealthy dynamic, consciously shift your role. Stop being a solver and become a catalyst. When someone comes to you with a problem, instead of offering solutions, ask questions that empower them to find their own. What's the first small step you could take? Or which inner strength can you rely on to overcome this? This gently passes the responsibility back to them. It's not abandoning them. It's making them the captain of their own mind and strength. Learn to maintain empathetic distance. Acknowledge their emotions and the difficulty of their situation, but don't take on their emotional burden. Be a witness to their struggle, not a partner in it. Most importantly, offer tools or faith, not answers. Say, "I see you're going through a tough time, but I'm confident you have the wisdom to overcome it." This sentence is more powerful than 1,000 solutions. When you adopt this approach, your relationships transform magically. Those dependent on you either learn to stand on their own or drift away to find someone else to provide that false strength. The relationships that remain are no longer based on a savior-victim dynamic, but on mutual respect between two equal, sovereign individuals. You're not abandoning them. You're giving them the greatest gift, the responsibility to strengthen their own wings and fly in their own sky. 9. Build inner balance to become the creator of your life. In biology, there's a fundamental law called homeostasis. It describes a living organism's ability to maintain a stable internal environment despite external chaos and variability. For example, whether it's freezing cold or scorching hot outside, a healthy human body works to keep its internal temperature around 37 degrees Celsius. It sweats, shivers, adjusts its metabolism. This inner balance isn't just a matter of comfort. It's the absolute prerequisite for survival and optimal functioning. The same law applies to our mental and psychological health. Every individual has a psychological homeostasis, a calm, focused center where they're most productive, creative, and at peace. This is the state where your mind neither burns with stress nor freezes with lethargy. But when you're always available, you sabotage this vital balance with your own hands. You invite every crisis, demand, drama, and expectation from the outside world into your inner space without a filter. Your mind becomes a thermometer, constantly swinging with external conditions. Someone's panic spikes your inner temperature. Another's request creates instant pressure. Another's negativity freezes your energy. Your day is spent not protecting your center, but reacting to these extremes. Your mind is always shivering or sweating. This isn't sustainable. It's the formula for slow burnout. Stopping being always available isn't about building walls or isolating yourself. It's about consciously teaching your mind what your body does naturally. Creating a healthy boundary. A psychological cell membrane. A cell membrane isn't a rigid wall. It's selectively permeable. Deciding what to let in and what to keep out. Managing your availability is exactly this. Deciding which information, demands, or energies are worthy of entering your inner space. When you create this boundary, you stop being a reactive being swayed by external chaos. You take control of protecting your inner balance. This balanced state is where creativity and authentic action are born. Creating a life is only possible when you stop responding to endless external demands and start listening to the signals from your inner center. Instead of letting the outside world be your thermostat, you become the thermostat of your own inner world. Being the creator of your life starts with the determination to build and protect this inner balance at all costs. Picture your life as a ship sailing through an ocean. The winds and currents are others' endless demands, expectations, and crises. Being always available is like letting go of the helm and surrendering to those external forces. The ship doesn't set its own course. It goes wherever the waves take it. In the end, you arrive not at your chosen port, but at a random shore where the currents toss you. Stopping being always available is firmly grasping the helm and steering toward your own North Star, your purpose. You didn't come into this world to be tossed by others' waves. You're here to be the captain of your own ocean, charting your own course. Storms will always come. Currents will always challenge you. But as long as the helm is in your hands, the power to choose your destination is yours. The purpose of this content was to remind you how to use that helm. It wasn't about teaching you to be cold or selfish, but to become the undisputed leader of your own life. It was about returning control of your time, energy, and most importantly, your mental space to you. It was about shifting you from the role of a victim to the creator of your own destiny. As the Stoic sage Seneca said, the greatest empire is to be emperor of oneself. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching.